Welcome back to Hugging My Chaos, season number 3, where we are doing a book review and we are on habit 6 of the 7 habits of highly effective people. So, next week, we're gonna be done. We are gonna be done with all of this book. Well, kind of, because I want to go over some other things. So, we're kind of done, but like literally next week, we're gonna touch the next habit. And I think this book was definitely important because it's not only for relationships, for our regular interactions, it's also for businesses, for organizations. And I know that in the future, I'm going to use this to help me out to understand okay, hey, how can I become a better leader, which is basically what this is all about. Pretty basic, but if we're able to master the basics, I think we're able to master other things as well. But synergy, synergy. Habit number 6, synergy. What is synergy? Basically, on habit 4 and 5, we've been talking about synergy. We've been talking about ways to become stronger together, ways where two people are doing something that makes them grow even more. And I think that this is important because something that I've read and I've seen in my life is that you become the product of the 5 friends you hang out with. And actually, my friend told me this. He told me that you become the product of like the media you consume, of the friends you follow on Instagram because of the algorithm. But we're not here to talk about this. And we're here to talk about synergy, being able to combine a lot of differences, being able to combine talents from other people and use it to support an organization. In economics, you learn that in economics, you learn that two people, if one person specializes in one thing only and another company specializes in another thing only, both companies can come together and make more profit. They can make more money just because they focus on building their skills. The other person, well, the other company focus on building their skills as well, and they help each other out and they help each other grow. Example, if you have a coffee shop and you partner up with the bakery shop, you're gonna make more profits than if you were to do it alone. You will make more profits, more growth because you synergize, because you use other people, and other people you not use, you work with other people, and that's the importance of synergy. Being able to unite two ideas into one and allowing those differences to unite you instead of separate you and divide you, because usually in the book it talks about this, and I've seen it in my life, but usually you're trying to be right all the time. You feel like you have all the information. You in a conflict, you want to be right, you think that you know things, but in reality you can learn so much from everyone, so much from everyone. So why did Covey spend basically half of the book talking about this? He talked about, let's kind of review. He talked about habit number 4 is think win-win. Basically the idea that you're not gonna have a lose win mentality, which means that you allow people to step on you, nor are you gonna step on other people. You're gonna find a mutual benefit that will benefit both of you, both of businesses. If you're talking about businesses, if you're talking about regular life, you are gonna pick something that is gonna benefit both parties, and that's where you start to build strong relationships. How do you build strong relationships? We're kind of going backwards. First, understand people. Where are they coming from? Habit number 5, understand their actual problems. If you're trying to like sell a product, and I'm talking about business, I don't know why, but I'm talking more about business in this episode. But if you're trying to sell a product, understand your clients, because they are the ones buying it. So similar to people, if you're trying to understand, resolve a conflict, talk to them, understand their problems, understand their needs, because that's where you're gonna become aware of, hey, like this is happening and this is how I can contribute, or this is how I can allow people to understand me as well. But first I have to understand other people. Because what if you're not even fighting about the right things? What if you're fighting about what if you're just trying to be right, not knowing that that person has some pretty good feedback? That's number habit number 5. Habit number 6 goes back to those ideas and tells us it's important that you do all of this, habit number 4, number 5, because we need people to grow. We need people to become better than what we could have been alone. So that's basically habit 6. And Covey said that sameness is not oneness. If you have people who are the same, who are basically copies of you, who believe the same things that you believe, you will not grow because you're surrounded by those ideas. You're going to be reinforced by those ideas every single time. What you need is people that test your beliefs, people that test your limits. You need to expand your perspectives. Get someone who can teach you something different. Something different. I usually say that you should surround yourself with a plus, minus, and equal. Plus to help you grow, equal to challenge and see where you're at, and minus to so you can like teach them what you know. It may be right, it may be wrong, but basically this is saying the same thing. Allow people to bring you diversity, to bring you their own different strengths. And I'm having kind of conflicts with this one because sometimes I question, I'm like, oh shoot, but I don't really think that I learn from other people, like certain people, you know? But what this book is saying is that you do. There's something to learn from every single one. Every single one can any person can teach you something. Even if you see it as quote unquote like you don't want to do this, like you don't see them as someone you admire, you can learn from their habits. Like what habits are they doing so I can become aware and not do them. But going back to synergy, allowing yourself to connect to something bigger than yourself, to connect with others so you can actually start to make a difference. Because you alone won't be able to, well, you will be able to do it, but it will be harder to do it instead of finding actually people who can help you and provide their insights that can allow you to grow. This involves patience, openness, and desire to understand. You need to have these three things because people don't think like you and there might be conflicts. People might want to defend their ideas. So that's where all the habits come in. But it involves a lot of patience and being open-minded and allowing yourself to listen and leave your ego aside and understand, hey, maybe they are right. You don't know. Maybe you won't agree with them at the end, but maybe they are right. So that allows you to like that humbleness to hear them out and actually hear them without any judgment. And that takes consistency. Not judging people because you think you're right, allowing them to teach you, allowing everyone to be your teacher. So now that we understand the theory, the concept of this, I want to give you guys some implementations. And I haven't done this in the past, I don't know how many episodes, but right now I thought it was a good idea just to make it more structural. But some implementations of how can you implement synergy. Number 1, use key phrases. Key phrases, and I'm going to give you some examples used in the book. Once you have a conflict with someone or once someone offers an idea that's different to yours, you can say something like, let's give it a try. Let's try it out. Maybe you're right. Let's just see if it works. Allowing that person to be your teacher for that moment, allowing that person to show you a different path. Let's give it a try. You don't lose anything, maybe time, but you gain insights. Number 2, good. You see it differently. Help me see what you see. Help me understand what you see. When someone tells you, I don't agree with you, instead of being defensive, change your dialogue. We already talked about this, like the power of dialogue, but change your dialogue. Hey, like, okay, you see it differently. That's good. I want to understand. I want to see your perspective because I don't fully understand what you're saying. And actually, I've been using this in the interviews that I've done, and it has really helped me because sometimes I don't agree with the people that I interview, and I'm like, hey, like you see it differently. Like I want to understand where you're coming from because, like, I really do. Like that's why I call you because I admire you in some kind of way. So the first phrase is let's give it a try. The second phrase is good. You see it differently. Help me see what help me understand what you see. Try it out and let me know if it helps. I'll definitely try it out because I think it's going to be important in my relationships. Number 2, build on your authenticity. Instead of trying to blend, instead of trying to become like everyone else, like we talked about, instead of trying to impress people, build and share your own ideas. No one's gonna know that you have a different way of thinking if you don't speak up. I once heard a quote that says, "Take care of what comes out of your mouth because once you speak up, you tell the whole world who you are." And that's powerful. The freedom to tell and show yourself as who you are gives you so much strength, gives you so much confidence because you're being true to yourself. And sometimes we get caught up in trying to be right or trying to say the right things that we don't understand ourselves. We don't even show who we are just because we're trying to, like, I don't know, impress people, trying to say the right things. But that's how you connect with other people. That's how people see your authenticity. Once you're able to speak up, to say your truth, in a more polite way, of course. But once you're able to share your ideas in a meeting, in a business meeting, if you're with someone, like um, if you're part of an organization, and if someone asks for your opinion, say your honest opinion. Don't just agree with people, because synergy, differences create changes. And I'm gonna tell you a quick story, just because it came out of nowhere, but I was part of the Red Cross, American Red Cross. Shout out to them. I love them. They literally made me this person. They literally made hugging my chaos. So everyone, let's thank the Red Cross. But basically, I was in the group, and the leader, the president, whatever, she saw that I was kind of like energetic. I was really kind of extroverted, like social, whatever, and she allowed me to create a form, like a new form of energizer. That's how she calls it. Like, it's a new activity. Like, I had to come up with the ideas. She allowed me to grow. She was like, you know what, April, you are gonna come up with the ideas of how to be an energizer. You're gonna energize people through Zoom, because we did camps online, virtual camps. We did it on person, but that was after quarantine. But during quarantine, like, I was doing it online. So she was like, I need you, because you're so energetic, you're so friendly. I need you to come up with an energizer plan, an activity that will energize people. And basically, I was like, okay, she believes in me. She believes in my strength. Like, that's crazy. Like, I thought that I had to be this, like, person that follow all the not stereotypes, who follow the rules of, like, being silent, not saying anything, like, because that's how I've been taught, like, be respectful, just don't say what you think, because sometimes you're not right. But in the Red Cross, I was able to show myself as who I was, and I created the Energizer, which became one of the most popular themes of the camp, of the virtual camp, because I will have members, the camp participants, guess the song, and everyone will get so pumped up. And that's because someone believed in me. Someone believed that my differences could add to the Red Cross. My differences could add value to this organization. And if that person, if the leader of the camp didn't believe in me, if the leader of the camp wanted everyone to be the same, the camp would have been so boring, because everyone added their own uniqueness. Everyone added their own essence. And that's the beauty. And you, as a leader, as a future leader, us as a leader, it's important to allow other people to add their own uniqueness, to add their own differences, to bring the things that you don't have, because everyone has something to offer. Everyone has something to offer, especially if your values are the same. That's something that I'm learning. If your values match, and if people are committed to your mission in life, and we already talked about this in Habit 2, if people are committed to your same mission, honestly, the values make it so much fun. So much fun, because everyone's walking on the same goal, to the same goal, to the same, yeah, to the same goal, but everyone's gonna make it differently. And if we combine them, we can create this Avengers theme, Avengers group. we can unite our differences. So that was basically habit number 6. The third, implementation. It's important. I already mentioned this, but let's mention it again. Don't label other people. Don't label other people. There's a quote that says, if you show people who they are, they will become worse. But if you show people who they can be, they will surprise you. Which basically means that don't label anyone. Like, there's always something to learn from others. Always. Even people, like I said, and this applies for anything, not just in business, but even people who you don't admire, you can see their habits, the things that you don't like about their lives, and you can try not to do them, because every single human lives by patterns. Every single human has patterns, and those patterns usually have a similar ending. I also heard a quote that says, success leaves clues. So if you're trying to see someone who's successful, emulate them. Try to see what they do, try to see their habits, copy them, and see what you can get, and see if you become, and see the outcome, because success leaves clues. I'm pretty confident of that. I've seen that people who do certain habits have certain lifestyles than other people. So, but basically, that was the side note. I know I'm going back and forth, but don't label others. You can learn from every single one. And if you judge someone, you lose the opportunity for growth. You lose the opportunity for a great teaching. If you judge someone just because, I don't know, XYZ, you will lose the opportunity for growth, for your own growth, for your own insights. And everyone will teach you something valuable at the end of the day, if you dare to listen and if you have the patience to do so. So, the implementation number 4, practice habit 4 and 5 consistently. Practice thinking win-win, always putting your benefit and the other person's benefit. And also try to understand people before speaking up, before saying everything that's on your mind, before trying to be right. And number 5, the final implementation point to use synergy is to brainstorm solutions to a conflict in a family, in a friendship. Once you identify the conflict, brainstorm it. Like, hey, how can I provide value to this relationship, and vice versa. I do this with my sister, and it's actually been pretty helpful because she's pretty honest. She's like, April, I don't like this about you. Please change this. Please try to like make it better, because I feel uncomfortable when you do this. And that has helped me strengthen my relationship with her, because if I actually implement whatever she's telling me, I understand where she's coming from, I am able to create a better relationship with her. And of course, this takes years. This is gonna take years. My relationship with her isn't bad, it's pretty good, but it could be definitely better. But it requires commitment too. It requires commitment. Because at the end of the day, if you're able to grow together, I know that we can accomplish so much more. So much more. And we've done it. Like, anytime we grow together, we've accomplished so much more because we help each other out. And yeah, that was habit number 6, synergy. The ability to combine both powers into one, both skills, differences, and become something greater than you have ever imagined. With that being said, thank you. I'll see you next week, where we are going to finish our book and talk about habit number 7, sharpen the saw, which doesn't involve anyone. It just goes back to you. But I won't spoil it anymore. I will see you next week. And before you go, remember, hug yourself. Hug that crazy chaos of yours, even though sometimes it may be hard, or sometimes it's pretty easy to hug yourself. Hug yourself, even though sometimes it looks weird, because I've gotten those comments like, hey, April, that's kind of weird. Hug yourself. Give yourself the love that you deserve. Okay. I wish you all the best. I'm sending you the biggest, widest hug, and take care. I'll see you next week.